Okay, so it's the end of another week, and we're going to start inside since the major work is happening outside. So as you can see, we're starting to use the kitchen even though it's not done. We got our washing machine, and we are waiting for the dryer to arrive. In the rest of the house, nothing much is happening. The electrician is still working on electrical. I've been working on getting as much of the wallpaper off as possible because we had somebody come and quote. Well, we had somebody come who is supposed to be giving us a quote, but he will not remove the wallpaper. Up on the mezzanine there, we have things emptied out because the electrician has started working up in the rooms there. And nothing much is happening back here yet. We still need to finish the wallpaper in the bedroom. But because things were happening outside, that got a little delayed. But inside, originally somebody had put grout along here, which then I stepped on the tub in order to work on the window and cracked the grout. So Francis went through and painstakingly removed all the grout and then filled it with silicone and actually removed the plastic covering from the bathtub. So this is basically done now, and we're hoping not to destroy it since there is no protective covering on it anymore. Outside, things are looking very green and nice for the beginning of fall. The grass is coming in pretty well, and we have a giant contraption here that is working on the back of the house, which I'll show you in a minute. But out here, I've been working on trimming the wisteria, so obviously I still have that to do. But I got up and basically I'm just kind of cutting along this line here, which then kills everything that's been growing up into the roof. So I plan on getting up and finishing this, basically cutting it right there, pulling out what I can, letting everything else die in place. We are planning on removing the ghetto tarp, which the previous folks had left up here, presumably for shade, because in the mornings the sun does come in from this side. But we don't like it. So when I get up there, I'll try to remove this thing. And I have to come in on this side and also trim the wisteria. So I really, really like this wisteria. We just don't want it getting up into the roof here. And this is actually asbestos tile. So next year, we have a crew scheduled to come out and properly remove and replace the roof. And definitely for that, it'll be my job to make sure that the wisteria stays in check so it doesn't mess up our brand new roof. Okay, so the major work this week has been reinforcing the wall. Actually, the walls in the barn, which I'll show you in a minute, but they're also reinforcing all the walls back here. We happened to stumble on a crew that was doing the same to a section of his parents' place, and they were able to get over to ours and work on ours. So yeah, this isn't done. They still have one or two more coats to do, but Francis has actually been fixing some of the openings that we've put in so that their job will look better. Over on this side, I'll go ahead and throw in some photos of the process before, because basically we had to open up a section here and open up a section there of the walls that were in really bad shape and support the wall from the inside while we put cinder blocks, and then they were able to put their layer over that. But I'll also go inside and show you the inside of the barn. And inside the barn, this is what it is looking like. I know, it's kind of a mess. But over here was where the wall was kind of falling apart, so that's been reinforced with the cinder blocks, and they have 1 or 2 coats on, and I think they still have 1 or 2 more coats that they need to do. But yeah. And Francis went through and he's fixing the frame on this as well so that it looks a little prettier when they go through and do their final coat. So that's the inside of the barn. And up in the garden, you can see that yes, we are still surrounded by corn. My garden is still doing its thing. Francis hacked down the weeds here, so I took the opportunity to put it on ice, is what I'm calling it, but basically just cover it with the weed block to try to kill everything that's growing underneath, and it'll give me a nice fresh thing to start on when I get around to it. You can start seeing all the winter squash coming in through the vines that have started to die off. So that's kind of cool. Woo! I brought all my mint collection out because it was getting swamped by all the leaves. And this was my big accomplishment for this week. So this bed is double dug. It is ready for planting. Unfortunately, in all the fiasco of getting the barn done, I've temporarily misplaced my garlic and onions and stuff, so I need to find them and get them in the ground. But yeah, so they will go here. These things are still growing, so I haven't taken them out yet. We have quite a few tomatoes in there, and tons of peppers that we'll need to harvest. But pretty soon all this will probably be finishing up. We're getting a few more of the last zucchini, and yeah, so I think that's probably about it for this week. Things to come. I know we've ordered a dryer to go with our washer, so that is coming in soon. If we're very, very, very lucky, we might get the kitchen counters this week, but I'm not holding my breath. And actually, yeah, all this work around the house and the barn should theoretically be wrapping up next week. So there's been a lot of work this week. There's going to be a lot of work this following week, and I will check back at the end of next week and let you see how it's turning out.